Hello there. Good morning to you, and you're welcome into the studios of the Ghana National Fire Service. It's that day of the week again, Tuesday, and it's Safety Matters. I am happy that you can join us on this show as we bring to you life-saving message concerning your life and the life of your loved ones. Today, we are in the studios with very, very important guests, as I always say, and we'll have some juicy discussions about you, about your safety. So if you haven't joined us yet, kindly join us. Either you join us on this TV, Fire Service TV, or you can join us on all our social media platforms. We are streaming live. You can join us on Facebook and other social media platforms. And you have the benefit of this discussion. Please also share. Please don't be selfish. Share it for the benefit of others, because it's important to all. We'll take this short commercial break. When we are back, we will tell you all about it. Do stay.
I came across power safety technology. So I introduced that into our residents, who are more than 4,000. And over the period, they have testified how power safety technology have saved them when the need arises.
Power safety. Safety is our hallmark.
You're welcome back, our cherished viewers. It's Safety Matters on Fire Service TV, and we are happy that you have joined us this morning. And now, today we are talking about electrical safety. When we say that, I know that rings a bell. That rings a bell. The Ghana National Fire Service knows too well how much damage electricity and its surrounding issues has caused to the members of the public. We know this through our investigations and reports. And so we find it important, very important, to bring this topic to you, and also to bring you seasoned panelists to discuss this topic to your understanding and for your benefit. Please call a friend. It's time to call a friend to come and listen. Share the link to as many people as possible to gather around and then listen to these discussions. Please, you can also send us your comments through these social media platforms that you are joining us from. Very soon we'll announce the number so that you can join us directly and give us your questions. Like I said, we have very important guests who are up to the task. They can answer all your questions for you. So please, this is an opportunity. Don't be lagging behind. Don't sit on the fence. Join in. Now, by way of introduction, we have here with us this morning our guest, DCFO retired, Kwame Kwarteng. He is a retired director in the Ghana National Fire Service. He was the former Greater Accra Regional Commander. He was a former director, PPME. He's also a consultant, a safety consultant. I must add that. Sir, you're welcome. We missed you.
Yes. Missed you.
All right. It's good you are here, and we are happy. Now, we also have our second guest on the studio to my far left. We have this morning Mr. Awal Sakib Mohammed. He is an astute safety and energy efficiency enthusiast. He is an electrical wiring inspector, a master thermographer, electrical skill trainer, an examiner, and a successful electrical and solar PV contractor.
Yeah, as well.
This is just to mention a few.
Yes.
The accolades plenty. But he has also won many, many awards. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
We are
madam.
happy to have you here to discuss this all-important topic. Now, I'll begin with you, Mr. Awao. When we talk about electrical safety, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so electrical safety, basically we are talking about the actions and inactions that borders on our safety, the safety of life and property related to the use of electricity. And that starts from the source of where you get electricity all the way to the utilization point. Now, in our premises, let's take your premises for instance.
Okay.
I'm sure you receive your electricity from a transformer. Now, and your transformer also receives its energy or electricity supply from another substation, what we call primary substations elsewhere.
Okay.
Now, from your transformer all the way to the point where you connect your appliances, how safe or how well it's been designed to be able to serve its intended purpose.
So it's a whole system.
It's a whole
along
system.
a particular value chain.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So if the design is not properly done, then electrical safety is compromised. Yeah, so, and it also goes a long way to speak about our actions. You know, the design may be done the best way possible, but if your attitude is not well, you don't portray the right attitude in terms of the use of electricity and all that, then you can also compromise the whole electrical safety aspect of the system.
Sir, would you want to add something?
Thank you very much. I quite remember some years back around the 80s, there was this popular advert. I'm not doing any advert for any company anyway.
Yes.
It says, electricity no get legs.
It be cable metal they carry up.
I didn't mention cable metal. What I say, no get legs, but something else carries it to the point that says, we want to relate electricity to fire. It serves us very well, but when it gets out of hand, it can be very disastrous.
Okay.
But before we understand much about safety in this issue, we need to know where the electricity is coming from.
Okay.
We have somebody who will generate. Somebody will also transmit the electricity. Another person will also distribute it. And within all this value chain, somebody will have to regulate them. And therefore will require people like our technology as well as electricians to do the job.
Okay.
So the safety of electrical system starts from the generation area through the transmission, through distribution, governed by the regulator, and then gets to the end user through whoever installs that particular system. So we need to know that the safety is not only on fire, on what is in our homes, but it comes alongside with all that. There are a lot of gadgets. If the one distributing decides that he doesn't do it well, it passes over somebody's house and drops, it will cause trouble for the person who lives in that area. So there are other safety measures. Some of the wires are bare, some are also armored, if I stand for correction. Some are also covered with the proper insulation so that it doesn't affect. So we look at all the aspects of it, and I think those are the works of Mr.
So in other words, electrical safety cuts across.
Cuts across from generation to the final consumer there.
Everybody is involved.
Yes, and so it's like our discussion here today, where I'm not an electricity expert, but we look at what happens around our workplaces and our homes, and these are the things that I wanted to add. Thank you.
So I'll stay with you a little on this one. Being a retired fire officer, deputy chief fire officer to be precise, what would you say are some of the effects of a faulty electrical safety system, as you have described it?
You see, what makes it faulty? It depends on what the wiring system, if it's faulty, you have a problem with. it produces its consequence effect or reciprocal, what do you call it, repercussions coming out of the use of that particular one. If you have a faulty appliance, definitely...
where I am talking about the walking down the value chain, right from generation down to the end user, as you have described it.
Yeah.
What would be the result of that, if anything goes, or the malfunctioning of any component of that system?
If you're talking about generation and there's a fault there, then the whole thing, if Akosombo is out, what happens? If Abuazi thermal plant is also off, what happens? Are you getting me?
Yes.
So that is the source. If the one that supplies the generation or the power is off, there's nothing you can do. That means the end user will not suffer.
Will not get
the power.
The power. Okay.
The person also transmitting it. If he's not putting the right systems that will be able to carry it to the next point where the person will take it for distribution, like he talked about secondary power source, primary power source and those things, transformers to bring it down, then we'll have a challenge.
Right.
For instance, somebody will decide that, this kind of Galamsey problems are coming with high tension cables where people are digging very close and some of them are showing signs of collapse.
Yeah.
If these things should go off that line, there will be no power for us to use.
Okay.
In the area where we have a lot of bushes too, if the people decide to burn the bush and build the electricity poles, they won't get to the actual source of it. Now we have the transformers that are also there. People decide to go and steal the oil in the transformers and decide to use it for other purpose. The power will not get to us.
Yeah.
So safety, they have ways of keeping it. Some of them protect it by other means, by putting some wall around it so nobody can get access to it and damage the system so that the power can flow. So safety from generation through transmission. You remember, I don't know, you remember in Achampon's time, there's some plant we call Achampon.
Yes.
They planted them all under the high tension poles.
Yeah.
So that people could not go around there and use for the safety and this. Now some of these areas have been turned to garages and so forth. And then they do all kinds of activities under those things. And if the activity gets out of hand, you remember the last fire you had at Ekomog?
Yeah.
The minister had to come and say they should clear themselves from that area because if anything should happen and fall on them, they're going to be in trouble. So you see,
so the
safety,
repercussions are
so
far and wide.
Wide.
But for us in the Ghana National Fire Service, what we normally see is the fire outbreaks.
The fire outbreak. That's what we look at based on investigation we have. But the process of getting it in our homes to cause that problem there, that is not within the fire service. But we can advise on some of those.
Okay. So very soon we'll go to the causes of these fire outbreaks. Okay. But I want to go to Mr. Awal and ask you, what are some of the bodies responsible for the safety, electrical safety of members of this good country?
Yeah, so, I mean, when it comes to the electricity market, I mean, the generators, the transmitters, and the distributors, they are regulated. And even the installers, we are all regulated by the Energy Commission.
Okay.
Now, to add to what my senior colleague mentioned, where every transformer has a relationship or a sort of a relationship with the utilization point, with the premises that is connected to that substation. So no matter how good the wiring within that premises is, if at the substation the protection system is not properly done, even when you have a fault, the fault will still be circulating within the premises, and that could generate enough heat that can cause a building to be raised down by fire. Now, if you go around our community, you find that most of our transformers are on the pole. And when you trace some of the wires connecting the transformer, there's a particular wire you find most of the time connecting to ground. There are mostly two of them. One is to protect the transformer from lightning strike, and the other is to protect the transformer, is to provide what we call the neutral, to be able to make the voltage low enough for us to use. And that cable that makes it easy for us to use, reduce the voltage for us to use, has a communication with the earthing system of your premises. So we normally call it TT system. So when there's a fault, and there's an earth fault, or your appliance develops a fault, that fault current is expected to be able to travel all the way to the substation and then return to cause the protective device on which the faulty appliance is on to trip. Now, your electrician may be good, he's done the best of wiring, and as a result, the fault current is able to travel to the substation. But if it gets there and it's either deteriorated or it's not even there, in most cases you go, it's been cut by scrap dealers. So if it gets there and there's no continuity, there's no path for it to return, the fault current will be traveling. And because the electrician has done a good job, the current will be a lot. And when it is a lot, the cables may not be able to withstand that high current.
Yeah.
And within a split second, that can result in a very high temperature that can go. So most of the fires you find in our jurisdiction here is largely because of a faulty neutral at a substation, or as there has been as a result of someone, unscrupulous persons cutting it from the transformer and all that. You see, your premises, you have your own substation, so you can deploy different types of protection system. Okay. We have the TT system, we have the TNS. The TNS is where you have your own substation. You provide a separate, you provide live, neutral, and edge to various points. Okay. So it is more reliable in terms of safety than what is prevalent, what is common in our jurisdiction.
Okay.
If you go to every community, we rely on substation, right? If the substation protection is not properly done, no matter how good your system is, you will not achieve any safety.
It would affect every other person who is connected to that substation.
Definitely. So then someone will ask the question, how do you then reduce this kind of incident? There's a device we call residual current device, which is an RCD. So that RCD is actually a lifesaver. It was introduced, it's been around, but then now it's mandatory to be installed in our system. Okay. So if you do any electrical installation, you are required to install it. And even with that, you find that people think it's expensive. Some unskilled electricians find it to be nuisance and all that, so they are bypassing it and all that. When you bypass it, you are not doing your client any good. Out there, they have even moved beyond RCD. They've gone into what we call AFDD, arc flash detective devices. And so they are advancing, but we are still where we are, and we still want to be safe.
That's correct.
Sometimes I tend to believe when we say God is a Ghanaian, because all the odds are against us. But it's always spared us the dangers or the consequences of certain some of our actions.
We have had our fair share. Maybe it's not as serious as you may be thinking that it should be. But we have had our fair share.
So I mean, the dangers we see around are just too many compared to the incidences that are reported. Seriously.
All right. Very well. So you mentioned the Energy Commission as one of the people responsible. Do we have any more stakeholders? Do they have some stakeholders?
Yes. So
you are the president. I forgot to mention president of the Ghana Contractors Association.
Electrical Contractors.
Ghana Electrical Contractors Association. Yeah. So you sit very well to go where. So how do you collaborate? How is the effort of your collaboration in order to achieve electrical fire safety?
Okay, so when it comes to our members, we have two types of licensing. We are licensed by the Energy Commission and the Electricity Company of Ghana. Okay. For the license that we need to do wiring on premises, we get it from the Energy Commission. Okay. But the license that we need to be able to do transformer installation, we do transformer installation, we do network extensions, we do even your meter installation. When you apply for meter, the meter that is installed is not installed by ECG.
Really?
It is installed by us. We are third-party contractors to ECG. So if you see a group of people laying cable on the planting poles, they are not ECG. Sometimes when it's maintenance, some simple works is done by ECG. But most often than not, it is done by our members. So we get our certification from these two agencies. We have a very close relationship with them. When it comes to the Energy Commission's panel that certify electrical practitioners, all the industry persons are members of our association, even including myself. Yes. And then when you go to even the Electricity Company of Ghana, the panel that certified electrical contractors, we have representation there. So we have a very close collaborations with them. If you go to Standards Authority, for instance, the Standards Committee, we have representative there. So we play a very key role in all the in the space.
All right. So viewers, Safety Matters here on Fire Service TV. I don't think that you want to enjoy this alone. I don't think so. Kindly share the link for other people to join you as we are discussing your safety by way of your electrical safety. You know, in the past weeks, we have done some risk assessment. We have taken you through the process. And following weeks, we have taken you through how to ensure that your ignition sources do not come back to affect you. Last week, we brought you how to make sure that your flammable substances are well contained and managed such that your homes and your premises, wherever you find yourself, are safe for you. Today, we are talking about your electrical safety. So I want you to follow us in that manner. We have the videos on Facebook and on our social media platforms. If you have missed any of these programs, you can go back and watch them. Today's own, I don't want you to miss it because it's better if you get it hot from the source and share the link for other people to join us. We are happy that you can join. This is Safety Matters on Fire Service TV, and I am in the studios with DCFO retired Kwame Kwarteng, as well as Mr. Awal, President of Ghana Electrical Contractors Association. We are doing justice to electrical safety. We will soon descend into your homes. Maybe the discussions are up right now, but don't worry, we will bring it down to your level so that you can follow us more and relate, so that together we can prevent fire outbreaks wherever we are. Sir, so the Ghana National Fire Service, how are we collaborating? Or you are not in service, so I'm a bit, but I know you can help me on this. Yes. How have we collaborated? And would you know how we are collaborating with these organizations and agencies, since we see the end result of all these failures in the system? We fight it. In fact, we fight it, and all the consequences that come with it are in our bodies, the bodies of our men, our gallant men. So how are we collaborating to ensure that we unite our efforts to prevent what we all fear, the fire outbreaks?
Okay. I'm happy for the first time getting the president of Electrical Contractors here.
Yes, we bring the best. Safety Matters, we bring the best.
So you have started a collaboration, isn't it?
Very well. Very well.
The only thing I knew about fire service collaboration with ECG was when we are in an area and there's a fire outbreak, we ask them to put the light off.
Okay. All right.
Because we don't want to hit our men.
All right.
But as to other meetings relating to electrical safety and these things, I don't have records on which I don't want
to go there
jump
too much.
That, maybe there had been levels of collaboration and that's new systems when he mentioned about they be members of the Ghana Standard Authority, and I think there's a representative.
Okay.
Dio Afo was a member when they came out with the Ghana Standard Building Code, so he knows. Maybe they did inputs in there. I cannot talk about it.
Okay.
But in terms of our collaboration, as ECG put the light off, us to put the fire off.
Okay.
That has been the thing.
Okay.
And now you have to go further.
Okay.
New ideas are coming.
All right.
So the fire officer will also have to understand. Other areas that I quite remember, there was some investigation in Chief Blankson's, or before Chief Blankson came on, and then we suspected electrical, but we didn't have the experts to do so. We had to contact Electricity Company of Ghana to give us a report about that.
Okay.
So we have always fallen on them to give us the expert advice when it comes to electrical fires that are in doubt as to the cause and this.
Okay.
They also do that and give the report to substantiate or otherwise what we're thinking about.
Okay.
So we have had collaborations in another form, which maybe not documented,
okay,
but in a friendly way to get facts to support our issues when it comes to investigating fires. So that's some form of collaboration. But I want you to build it bigger.
Okay.
So I go somewhere.
Mr. Awal, I'll throw it back to you.
Okay.
Since we see the dangers, everything that you fear in the system, when it ends up in fires, we are the ones who deal with it. So how have you collaborated, your organization, and all the boards that you sit on? How have you collaborated with the Ghana National Fire Service to achieve fire safety in this country?
Okay, so I told someone that, remember, I mean, Ghana, we had our Kosombo several years or many years ago. Until 2013, we didn't have any regulation that governs how electrical works were being done in the country.
Okay.
So 2013 till date, we have a law. That law has somehow sanitized the electrical space. Now electricians are certified. When they work, an inspector is expected to go and verify what they've done,
Okay.
and all that. And then also now we are also coming up, there's a law which is LI 2478 or so, which is a law on electrical cables and accessories. All along the destiny has been on certifying the person. Now the equipment or the materials that the person is going to use, even though Standards Authority tells them, now there's a law that makes it more like that makes sure that indeed we have quality products on our market. Now, so for us on our side, we've initiated some collaboration to the extent that I had the opportunity of making a presentation at the just ended fire conference.
Yes.
And we wish to
continue along that line.
Along that line. And in fact, my company is engaging with the service to provide a pro bono auditing of your premises.
Wow.
Which yes.
Wow.
So we are providing a pro bono electrical auditing of your premises, the entire headquarters premises.
Awesome.
And be able to help you make sure that your electrical systems are in good condition. And we cannot do it alone. Fire service can also not do it alone. We just have to collaborate. For us, I'm also personally, as my background as an electrical safety trainer and all that, we also look at ways where we can furnish your technical persons with the knowledge on electrical safety audit.
Okay.
You see, most of the time when there's an incident, we conclude electrical. We are not able to do forensic audit to really tell what the problem is. See, a lot of the fires we get in our market, there's fire, we go, we douse it down, we quench the fire. The next moment, the people build again, and they wire the building and all that. We are not able to even tell whether the substation, what we call the impedance, we have what we call loop impedance. If the loop impedance of an electrical system is compromised, safety is completely compromised.
Loop impedance.
Loop
Please,
impedance.
me and my viewers, we are interested.
So
it's a tradition on this show.
Yes.
When you use big words, you explain to us.
Okay, so
Technical words.
electrically, protection is achieved when you have a faulty appliance. The faulty appliance, electrical fault, earth fault for that matter, which can cause electric shock and can easily cause electric fire. The fault current is supposed to flow through a path. And that path is normally from the appliance, if it has a metallic body, from the body is connected to a cable called earth, a green and yellow cable you find mostly in appliances. That cable is connected to the earth bar inside your main switch. And that earth bar is also connected to the ground, the general mass of earth. Now, at the substation also has a connection to the general mass of earth. So, the path, the resistance of this path is what we call impedance. If it is high, the ability of that fault current to circulate, to go around and return, to get that faulty appliances removed from the system will not be there, will be high.
Okay.
So the longer it takes for the appliance to be cut off the system, the riskier it becomes. The more easily the building is exposed to the risk of fire, the more easy are people exposed to the risk of electrocution, for that matter. So this impedance, you can only tell when you test. So now the building is raised down by fire. The person builds it again. He connects it to the distribution, and we are not able to tell whether the impedance is good or not. And even with the current practice where we have certified electricians working on all that, what we do currently is basic test. The person will go and test the wiring to be sure that the wires are in good condition, there's no break, the breakers are whatever. Now, when you connect the premises onto the distribution, the local network, the grid, you are supposed to also establish whether indeed those protective devices will trip when the need arises. But at the moment, we don't practice that. And it's because the program is being piloted. So we are hoping until we get to a point where it becomes mandatory for every building to be tested. We'll call them live tests. For live tests to be conducted on every building, then I tell you, we'll still be where we are. Currently, the wiring are being done properly, but then that ultimate safety, which can only be established when the live tests have been done, we are currently not doing that. For us, some of us who are bent on doing the right thing, we do it, but because it's not mandatory, people don't see the need to do that.
I get the sense that we are not doing enough for electrical safety.
We are, as a nation, we are dragging our feet.
We are dragging our feet.
We are doing our best, but it's not with
even
the
though
speed
we are
with which
seeing
we are
the
not
results
marching.
of the inefficiencies in the system. We are still dragging our feet.
Yes, for me, I think that we are dragging our feet.
Anyway, this is Safety Matters. You are watching. Thank you very much for joining us on this show. We are discussing electrical safety here at the studios of the Ghana National Fire Service. And we'll go on this short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Do stay.
I came across power safety technology. So I introduced that into our residents, who are more than 4,000. And over the period, they have testified how power safety technology have saved them when the need arises.
Power safety. Safety is our hallmark.
I go Ghana. I go Omambapa. I am a proud and trained firefighter, trained to save lives and properties. At the end of this year, at the Memuni Metri Dowry. At the end of this year, na mabedane ti Memuni Tanfui. Share, Ubieja Padi and Siano. Ubieja Padi and Jademuno. Amikodumuno auto to bobo me. Mikodumuno udidi matemi. Minya mense. Mada funfon sengu onti ensi demrifa. Debi enye sane etete miye. Masede ne se me bo ajapade ene won kon gwan e de fuja hihye ho. Nyame hefiri won chen ene wo moa. Ene wo kokoduru a odi be gina machi. Abra mi di djuma e de age akran kwa. Yes, when everybody is running away from the fire, I repeat, we face it. So stop harassing the firefighter whilst he performs his core duty. Uni aneme, ame sumi ni aneo. Uhi odum jajuma enino, no dum jajuma enino su hiao. BBC, I won't tell you, a yapin chichimu, and fam rano and show some. Penny say, one some, one in nipa. God bless our homeland Ghana. God bless Ghana National Fire Service. God bless the chief officer. And God bless the firefighter. Fire, safety. Uja, where is it? The bravest, we don't take cover. The rest, away, away, away.
Welcome back, cherished viewers. You are live on Fire Service TV. This is Safety Matters. We bring it to you every Tuesday at 10 a.m. And we are grateful to you for joining us. We are streaming live on all our social media platforms. Please, when you go there, don't be selfish. Kindly share the link for the benefits of others as well. You can also join us with your questions. We will do justice to them. We have what it takes in the studios here to answer all your questions. Electrical safety is important to all. As you heard it on the show, it starts from somewhere and it ends with you, every individual. Once you are a user of electricity, even if you don't have it in your house, once you can walk into a premises where there is electricity, you are also affected by it. So please don't turn deaf ears to it. Please be interested. Share the link and be sure that your neighbor, your friend, your co-worker is also benefiting from this discussion. Join us with your questions. We'll ask them for you. Yes, sir. Deputy, sir. So, in our work as the Ghana National Fire Service, we have identified that domestic fires are always on top of when we categorize the fires that occur in the country year by year. It has stayed on top for a very long time. And through our investigations, one of the things that we realized is that it is the most causes of these fires are either electrical or gas. So electrical issues are of grave concern to the Ghana National Fire Service. What are the causes? Breaking it down in our homes. What are those simple causes of these electrical fires in our homes?
Thank you once again. To be frank, as I sit here, I've been a little bit surprised. Mr. Wah has made some of our work very simple as fire officers. It means we do a lot of education. But the safety of electricity, which lies as a shared responsibility to the individual and then the organizations that handle electrical, are also not helping the fire service in doing this work. Now, the fireman's concern is to make sure that the three elements of fire, heat, fuel, and oxygen, do not come together. Now, and we are aware of sources of heat, which one of them is the electrical source.
Okay.
So we'll look at what can cause heat within the environment within which can spark fire, because oxygen is always 21%. If it's there, it's ready. The fuel too, if it's there, depending on its flammability limit and ignition point, it will spark. So what is the source? Electricity is one of the sources.
Okay.
That is ignition resulting from overheating. Anything that is overheated, definitely heat source is available. You have bought your fridge, TV, air conditioning. It's not working because they have all kind of gadgets that are in there to regulate its use.
Yeah.
And AWA has made me understand now that if it's faulty, there's a system that will have to tell and let it catch. So if the system does not respond to that, it means it will not cut off my electricity or my appliance, isn't it? So definitely I will generate the heat. When the heat gets to the surrounding environment with what the ambient, what temperature is it for it, fire will start. So it's giving us good information as to be able to determine, and it requires that fire service should ask them to help us locate whether that thing that he's talking about is in process, else it's not the fault. The other one, damaged electrical systems will also cause fire. The wiring, as he said, for wires we see a lot. Flexible wire, 1.5. This me, I don't have knowledge in those things.
Okay.
But I think each of them requires what should be connected to. So when a fire officer comes to your premises and is doing a risk assessment, all I look at is your sources that you use those powers. One of them is your bulb where you fix it, outlets. I will look at your socket where you plug in, or whether you're using extension cable. Then I'll begin to look at colors, symbols, signs to tell me that there's a misfire or there's a likelihood that you have fire. Sometimes you go further and you want to look at the heat that the system generates, like a heater, the watt, is it kilowatts and those things will determine that is it the right socket for that person to use based on what has been installed. Those things, we don't even have the gadgets to check. So we use our intuition, our experience. You go to somebody's house and you see his outlet on the bulb and you see some black color around it. me, I'll take it as misfire. It means there's a possibility of fire starting. There's something going on there which I cannot explain.
Okay.
I come and he has electric kettle and he's plugged and the whole area within the socket area is brownish. Then I begin to see that there's some heating going on within there. But because of the thermal rate of that particular plastic, that is why it has not shown. One day, if you leave it on and overheats, you come and that place has started a fire. Yeah. You have electric heater in your house, you have a microwave. The thing is malfunctioning. The system that he talked about is not responding to it. You leave it there, you go and come, your house is burnt. You are ironing and you leave the iron there, the source is there, heat is generated, the environment has the combustible, it has it. Okay. So the fireman's concern, the first thing, the three elements that starts fire, then he looks for the sources of heat. Because a carpet lying on its own with that source of heat will not burn. And then you look at the sources of ignition. Where is the power coming from? Okay. It's only heat that has been generated. So these are the issues that we use and we investigate on that. But when I come and your whole place is down and it's burnt, and I cannot tell you that it's electrical fire because I don't know where it's that. The only thing I will look at is the pattern of burn. Okay. If I come and you have a fridge in this particular area, and I'm seeing the source of where you pick the light to connect to the fridge, then I look at the pattern. The fire has a V shape or it has a general mushroom, then I can narrow in and see that the possible source of fire is coming from here. Or when I come and look at the environment and see how the place is charred, then maybe you see sparks from the wall and these things, then I can then determine that the fire intensity was within this area. Okay. That will help me narrow in to find out whether it started from electrical source or started from somewhere. That is what we do.
Very well.
So our eyes
it's a good thing that
it's opening our eyes to a lot of things that the fire service will have to look into.
It's a good thing that the Ghana National Fire Service has a forensic laboratory now.
Yes.
That we want to do some serious investigations. Yeah. And I also heard you say that you want to collaborate with us.
Yes.
That's even better. And so we are happy. I'll come to you with issues regarding substandard wires. Yes, cables. But let me take these messages coming in from our viewers who have joined us on our social media platform. So Nana Kweku Miki says, may God richly bless the CFO, the Chief Officer, for making fire service one of the best. One going out to the Chief Officer. Then Ikua Yebua says, good job. Indigo, forgive me, Joseph, if I'm not able to mention your name, well, forgive me. Watching you live from Boku. Wow, that's refreshing to note. We also have Bismarck Mawunya Pobly. He says, please, how do we check the issue of inferior cables in our markets, knowing the porous nature of our borders? So I was talking about, I will come back. Don't worry. Bismarck will address your issue very soon. So do stick and stay. Call others to come and listen in so that they will know what and what not to get when they go to the market. Bismarck, Mawunya, probably. Okay. So we'll look at it. We'll continue to read the comments as they trickle in. But sir, now I want to know. Okay. This issue of substandard electrical cables is a big one. Not only cables, but other things that come with it. Who is responsible that we get quality cables on the market? Which body?
Okay, so it is the responsibility of the Ghana Standards Authority to establish whether a product, an electrical product for that matter, is of good quality. So if you go on their website and regularly, you find that they update it with a list of approved electrical cables.
Ghana Standards.
Yes. If you go to their website right now, you find that they've stated list of cables that they've tested, that they've approved. So if you buy from any of these, you can be assured that you are buying a good one. But you know, like someone mentioned, our borders are porous and all that. Yes. So the advice I give people is, even if you buy a cable from the list. It depends on the size of the project. Take another step and send the sample to them, because people find a way to bring in all sort of cable of different qualities and all that because of their own selfish interests and all that. So I advise people, when you are not too sure whether the cable is good or not, just take a sample, just about 2 meters. You are going to buy the cable. You can tell the person, if you would allow me to take a sample of this cable to Standards Authority and they confirm that indeed the cable is of a good quality, I'll go ahead to purchase it. If he agrees, you send it to them. Within a day or two, they'll be able to give you a report that says that the cable is good or not.
My follow-up question:
if you are buying a cable over 20,000 cedis for your work, and you just want to go and stand by some shop by the roadside and buy it, you're not doing yourself any.
My follow-up question will come. But let me announce the numbers to call. If you want to join us on this show, you do join us on 050-960-8744. 050-960-8744. Join us and ask your questions. We have the experts here. Please don't be discussing among yourselves. Agronic form. We have the experts here. Call in and ask your questions. You can also join us with your comments on all our social media platforms. Sir, so do you mean that I'm going to buy one small socket, or an electrician is going to buy one small socket? When I get to the socket, I take a picture of it or the cable and send it to standard board, and they will give me, they will tell me whether it is quality or not. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not talking about one item.
Okay.
Even if it's one item, a cable, for instance, I'm not advertising for them, like Nexans, for instance, they've come up with a way to determine whether the cable is good or not. Just on your phone, you can download an app. If you scan there's a QR code. When you scan it and it doesn't show that if it's good one, it will show you that it's verified. If it is not, it will tell you. So we encourage other manufacturers to also take clue from that, so that at least it will be easy for people to know whether they are buying the right product or not. Now, when it comes to electrical accessories, I tell you that even in the UK, where they've developed, it is one of their nightmares. They are struggling to be able to contain the influx of inferior product. So how much more in Ghana? So for me, my advice is always to buy from a good source. There are companies in Ghana here where you know that you should buy this product from them. You can be assured that you are buying a good product. But if you just stand anywhere and buy something, I tell you that you may be doing yourself a lot of harm. There are a lot of companies in Ghana who are dealing with high quality products. Some of them are actually representative of some of the manufacturers. So if you go to them to buy, you can be assured that you are buying a good one. But if you are doing a project of a certain size, get some of the materials, send them to Standards Authority. Let them approve that indeed it is good or not before you embark.
Will that be at a fee?
It comes at a fee, of course. But we are looking at collaborating with them to make it very reasonable. I think they were planning to set up, they attempted it, and I think installed around Opera and all that. They have some shop quick test point where you just buy the thing, you send it for them to verify. If they do, then you go ahead to buy it. I think we need to bring it back so that people can easily pick up something, go verify, and then they can proceed to buy.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot. So are you telling us, your viewers on this platform, that we can trust the list of products that the Ghana Standards Board would list as quality?
Yes, so I personally have raised some concerns, or even on the list. Now, if you go to the list, there are some very popular brand names in there, but you are not able to tell which institution imported that cable. Let's say you say cable A is good, it's there. Someone also, an unscrupulous person, knowing that, so this cable A, they say is good. He goes to bring inferior one into the market. But if you're able to state that cable A is good, it was imported by Asimesi company, then when I'm going, I know that I'm going to Asimesi to go and buy such a cable.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it's not like that. They will tell you that, these are the list, and you don't know where to get those. The local ones, because people hardly fake their product. If you go to the Nexan, the Tropica, the Roy, the what we call the San Cable and all that, those ones, you know them. Even if you have a reason to suspect that it's no, we can run to them and go and verify. But the foreign ones, they state a cable like RR, and RR cable is the highly patronized cable, but you have the most inferior ones in the country.
Okay.
The people are just bringing in a lot of inferior. I have visited places. I've been to factories elsewhere. If you go there, the first thing they will ask you whether you want class 2 or class 5.
Oh, really?
Yes,
There
they
are
do.
classes.
They have
And
classes.
the system allows that.
You know, the truth is that when we come to certification, there's a range, right? If the thing is between 0 and 5, as long as they test it and it means it's okay. But so why would somebody spend or put in more effort to even go below the standard and beyond the standard? It's because the person wants to produce good quality products onto the market. So, but the manufacturers, even if they reduce the quality by 0.1 and they are producing coppers in tons of whatever, you have no idea how much savings they will make. So the person will go out there, connive with the manufacturer to reduce the quality by just a percentage. When he brings it here, the testing will tell you it's passed. But then that cable may not be able to withstand the required current that is supposed to, or may not be able to do the desired work that is expected to do. So the challenges are many. But for me, I advise people, if you are buying a certain quantity of material, take the effort. Just pick, even though you try the person, oh, this shop is good, just take samples to Standards Authority. Few cities will save you a lifetime.
You see, the people who don't buy certain amount of cables or quantity of these cables are more than people who buy in bulk. And they are the ones with the issues. Okay, so our domestic dwellings, you're just going to buy what is it? A simple wire. How do you call it? This is our extension. This issue of extension, that one too. Who do you follow? How do you know?
No, for extension boards, I've been in touch with some of the companies that I think produce high quality stuff, and was advising them it's an area to venture into. Because the good ones are the Solatex and those brands, and they are sometimes very expensive. So, but if you can bring good quality ones, mid-range in terms of pricing, people will really patronize. So I've advised some of them to consider it, and as to whether they will do or not, it's their own business case. But you see, one of the ways to also avoid all these things is to engage a certified person. Today, the certified person carries a lot of responsibility. If you are going to buy, we should move away from the point where you want the person to write the materials for you to go and buy. If you buy it, even if he uses it without rejecting, if he finds it to be bad, the liability is still on him. But you see, today, for new buildings, you are required to even state the name of the product on the test form. So if you do, an inspector goes to inspect a premises, it's required to state the size of the cable, the brand name of the cable. So if there's an incident and you are investigating, one of the things fire service must start looking for is the test report for the building. If you go to do any fire investigation, the first thing you ask for, can we see the electrical test report of the building that says that the building was duly inspected and tested? When you do that, now on the surface of it, you can tell if there's a problem. If I find that there's a cable, a certain brand has been stated which has not been approved by Standards Authority, I can zero in on and say that could be the cause. If I find that the cable that is supposed to carry, that is supposed to be protected by a 6 amps or a 10 amps breaker, is being protected by a 16 amps, I can consider that to be the problem. So there are some small clues that you can derive from on the surface of the test report to zero in whether it's an electrical fire or not.
Sir, there are a lot of questions that I want to ask you. However, I would defer it to the next time we meet. You'll be here.
Yeah, I'll definitely be here.
We'll be happy to have you.
And I'll be glad to make this place my home.
We will be happy to have you all the time. Sir, when it happens, it falls on us.
Yes.
So, our education. How are we strategizing? How are we collaborating? How far do you think we can take it?
Okay.
We don't have too much time. I know you would have to.
It's very simple. You see, I'm happy. I always say I'm happy to get Awa here.
Yes.
The education is what he's also doing now. We have to make sure that we put the fire off when it happens. Okay. But the marketing strategies, as you talk about flexible wires, it depends on who is bringing that particular item. Currently, people are beginning to understand what the laws are. It's because we want to do things cheap. That's why most Ghanaians are suffering. if you engage an electrical engineer or electrical system or to do the job for you, and there's a problem and it's realized that it came out of his ignorance or any information, you sue him and take your money back. We don't want to practice that. With most Ghanaians stand for correction, think that they know it better. Now the law in Britain and marketing says that the buyer beware. Americans have been able to turn that law and added the vendor, the supplier, beware. So if the product you are selling is a bad product, and the guy gets to know, he takes you to court, you will win. We don't want to test any law. We don't want to test, but we just sit down and let the system. And the people have taken advantage, and they know.
So part of the problem is with us.
With us.
Our ineffectiveness.
Yes.
We just want to remain in our state and lament.
Excuse me, the last one. We are training people on TVET. Some of them are going through electrical training. Today, I was a little bit happy when I heard that the vice president was going to do a program where about 10,000 artisans are going to be passed out. Then he's introducing an app which requires that if I need an electrician or I need this, I can call and the person can come into my house. Good.
Okay.
So if I invite you based on that and you have gotten that qualification, you come and you do a wrong thing, I'll see you. You see now, we're opening up.
We have a lot to say.
Awa will help us.
We have a lot to say. We'll be back next week. We live to fight another day. So we'll be back next time. Please give us your concluding remarks and then we'll meet next week.
My remarks is that it's good you've got in the Electrical Group Association to assess the fire service. They are giving us a lot of opening. Then we'll know our steps. Where we are not sure or we cannot get a result, let's contact the experts to go and do all this check. But at a fee, not to the fire service, at the cost of the person who has brought that problem to us. So it's a good education. Let us keep it up and always invite and his group to come and assist us.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Can you give us your concluding remarks?
So just as
promising that you'll be here next week.
I'll definitely be.
Right.
But just as we encourage people to take their health serious, people send their vehicles for checks and all that from time to time. Electrical system must also undergo search because with time they deteriorate. So if you have an electrical system, whether it is within the 10-year mandatory period or not, nothing stops you from engaging an expert to be able to establish what we call electrical condition report of your premise. It will go a long way to save your life and your property from the dangers that may arise from the utilization of electricity. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us on this show. We are very grateful. Our viewers have benefited a great deal. And some of us are telling us that we should always bring this back for us to make a proper use of this topic that we have started. Thank you so much. We are grateful. Now, our cherished viewers, we are grateful to you for joining us. It's because of you that we are here. If you were not listening, if you were not watching, we will not be doing anything here. So thank you very much for listening and watching us wherever you may be. We have discussed in part electrical safety. We shall continue this discussion next week, and we know that you will join us. I hope that you have shared the link. Some other person has benefited. If you have not been part of this show, the videos are always there. You can always go back and watch it at your convenience so that we can learn a thing or two. You can protect yourself, your family, your workplace, and wherever you may find yourself. Thank you very much. The program has been Safety Matters. I am ADO1 Joan Ajay. Do watch the tree version of this program tomorrow and enjoy the rest of our programs. Thank you very much. See you next week.